A garbage truck rolls off a Garrett County road with a man on the back of it. You'll hear from him about that fall coming up.
A man is in jail accused of trying to set a Lexington woman on fire. We'll have the latest details.
2 tall residence halls on the UK campus will be empty next semester as the university tries to decide what to do with them.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon to you. Amber Philpott and Sam Dick reporting a man who was on the back of a garbage truck when it rolled over said he had to run up an embankment to keep from being pinned underneath it.
It happened today on Good Hope Road in Garrett County. Our Victor Puente has reaction now from that man. It's our top story at 4:30.
When that garbage truck rolled down the embankment behind me, there was a man on the back of it. He had to scramble to keep from being crushed. Willie Isaacs says his coworker driving this Rotus garbage services truck was trying to give an oncoming vehicle room when his back tires went off the road and the truck followed.
I got right there and then back in a little bit and over a little bit too far, and then next thing you know, we was over the bank.
Isaacs says he was thrown onto the embankment into the path of the rolling truck.
Well, the truck was sliding, it was kind of following me because I was down there behind it trying to get up that bank, and that bank's wet and slick and muddy.
He managed to get out of the way, and that other driver called 911. Cartersville firefighters had to cut the windshield to get the driver out. He had a shoulder injury but is expected to be okay. Isaacs says that truck brushed by him on its way down.
Figured we was pretty lucky. Sure do.
The vehicle enforcement officer who was out here at the scene told me he didn't anticipate any charges or a citation because of this crash. In Garrett County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Isaac said the company would bring out another truck and he planned to finish his route. It's a question we've been asking police for many, many years. Is there a gang problem in Lexington? Tonight we get the answer from someone on the inside. Matthew Roby, better known as King Red Dog, a self-proclaimed enforcer for the Latin Kings in Lexington. He's serving time right now for a deadly shooting back in 2008, a crime that brought this gang member to tears.
I know sorry is not going to bring nothing back, but the fact is, I just hope they understand that's not what I meant to happen.
You will hear Roby open up about gang activity still going on in Lexington, and from the crime fighter trying to stop gangs in Lexington as well. Amber's at the live desk now with our investigative reporter Miranda Combs with more on this story that she's been working on for 6 o'clock tonight. Amber?
Sam, thank you. Boy, this is a real inside look. You say this is probably one of the most interesting interviews you've ever done.
And surprising, Amber, you've been to jailhouse interviews and prison interviews before. You know, you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes are they just trying to get away from their everyday routine and come talk to you, or are they really going to open up? And in this case, Matthew Roby really sat down and opened up to us for 35 minutes. It was even surprising to the prison staff.
So we're talking about something that happened in 2008, that murder, and he says it should never have happened, right?
Right. The victim in that murder was a gang member with the Latin Kings as well, and he says that that victim was dating someone in another gang, which was not allowed, and that he had ordered other gang members to go and beat him up, and that he never wanted him killed.
And he talks about how betrayed he felt by his own gang members.
Yeah, you know, he says he turned around in the courtroom and pleaded guilty just because nobody was there to support him. None of his quote-unquote brothers were there for him, and it hurt him that badly that he went ahead and pleaded guilty, and he says he wished he hadn't done that now, but here he is.
Well, as interesting as it is to talk to this young man, you actually are going to talk to police a little bit about this.
Which is another interesting development. Yes, and you know, they say the gang situation isn't getting any better here in Lexington, so we'll delve more into that coming up at 6.
Looking forward to something that people don't think about, but we know sometimes it's happening. So, Miranda, thank you. We'll see that tonight. Sam?
Amber and Miranda, thank you. He's accused of dousing a woman with lighter fluid and trying to set her on fire. Lexington police charged Gilberto Reyes with wanton endangerment. Today he appeared before a judge to answer to that charge. WKYT's Hillary Thornton talked with his mother and is tracking new details in the case.
The arrest citation for 18-year-old Gilberto Reyes says he doused his victim, identified by family as his ex-girlfriend, in lighter fluid inside an apartment here behind me on Cambridge Drive, all while telling her he was told to kill her. However, his mother says that is just one side of the story.
I mean, he loved her a lot.
His mother, who did not want to be shown on camera, says on Saturday her son asked to borrow her car to go pick up his ex-girlfriend, who had asked to come over to their apartment. She says they spent a couple of hours at the apartment while the rest of the Reyes family was at a children's birthday party. When the rest of the family got home, she says there was no arguing and his ex-girlfriend was not covered in lighter fluid. However, she says she did change shirts. Reyes' mother says she then drove her son's ex-girlfriend home. Meanwhile, her other son called crying, saying police had arrested Gilberto.
She willingly came over here. She was not forced. Yes, he has a bad background, yes. Anybody does. He changed completely, but when she came back into the picture is when, I don't know.
Police charged the 18-year-old with first-degree wanton endangerment, saying he created a substantial danger of death or serious injury by covering her in lighter fluid, attempting to set her on fire. Investigators say the victim told them while all of this was going on, Reyes said to her that he had to kill her, stating numerous times, "I don't give orders, I just take them." Reyes' mother says she has spoken with her son in jail, and she says he told her that he never said anything like that. In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Reyes was arraigned in court this afternoon on the charges. He has pled not guilty. We're also following up on a violent crime near the UK campus. Now that police have made an arrest, Saquon Freeman is accused of breaking into a home last weekend on Suburban Court. That's off of Nicholasville Road. Police say that he and 3 other men held several people hostage, robbed them, and even hit one guy with a gun. Freeman will be arraigned today on 7 charges of kidnapping.
A Central Kentucky mother is in jail after police say they found her passed out in front of her young children. Danville police say they found 32-year-old Tiandra Miller passed out in a living room surrounded by bags of cocaine and marijuana. Police say it was her 12-year-old son who called for help. Miller's 3 children are now staying with relatives. Well, cooler air is working its way into the region and will bring showers and storms with it.
Some of those storms could be strong or severe. Let's check in now with our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, no real threat for severe weather out there, though we are tracking some of those scattered showers and storms that'll carry us through the evening into the overnight. But that front is on the move and rumbling into the area for the day on Tuesday. Live First Alert Defender as of now picking up on just some spotty stuff that is out there. Nothing to really write home about. Get into southeastern Kentucky. Little thunder and lightning coming out of this cell between Hayden and the Hazard area along and south of the Hal Rogers Parkway. That'll continue to lift its way toward the north into parts of south central Kentucky. It's an isolated shower showing up around Lake Cumberland. Isolated into parts of central Kentucky. Catching a theme here between Richmond and Nicholasville. Rain's beginning to flare up just a little bit. And again, everything is coming from southwest to northeast out there as of now, ahead of that cold front that is slowly working its way towards central and eastern Kentucky. Those temperatures, by the way, ahead of that front, still awfully warm and muggy, mid to upper 70s. Weather headlines as we roll ahead. Feels like the tropics out there, scattering of showers and storms with some locally heavy rains this evening. Then we start to see some better weather rolling in as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, and I'll break that down when I come back in just a few minutes.
2 high-rise dorms on the UK campus will be empty next semester while the university weighs some big changes. UK is considering renovating or even demolishing Kerwin and Blanding Towers at a price tag of more than $10 million. The 23-story dorm complex that can house about 1,200 students opened back in 1966. The Herald-Leader reports closing the dorms means fewer low-cost housing options for students. Kerwin and Blanding Towers were the only UK dorms remaining that cost less than $3 grand per semester.
A Central Kentucky county is now the fastest growing county in the state. According to the Lexington Herald-Leader, Scott County is now a boom town. One realtor who has an office in Georgetown says the Toyota plant is contributing to the population boom. It also boasts the state's largest high school. The Herald-Leader also says census data shows that the county is even drawing in residents from surrounding counties, including right here in Fayette County.
Only about 10% of registered voters are expected to vote in tomorrow's primary election. The polls open tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock and will stay open until 6 p.m. One of the most watched races is the Republican race for Kentucky governor. Our WKYT Herald Leader Bluegrass poll shows a dead heat between James Comer, Hal Heiner, and Matt Bevin. Of course, WKYT is your home for Election Day coverage. We'll have live coverage throughout the day, and we will be streaming live team coverage on WKYT.com.
Ahead, Taylor Swift dominating the Billboard Music Awards. We'll take a look at their historic night ahead on WKYT News at 4:30.